All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Fazil Qureshi from the Broward MPO. I'm the co-project manager for the Broward Safety Action Plan. Thank you all for joining us this evening. If you can bear with me, I am going to put up our presentation, and I hope everyone can see it. But thank you for joining us once again for this rescheduled meeting. We are offering this meeting in a in-person format as well as a virtual format. Our consultant team will be available virtually once we do the presentation here to document any concerns and to answer any questions you all may have. For anyone that is online, please use the Q&A function in Zoom to submit any questions that you may have, and the project team will be able to answer them during this presentation. So with that, I just want to thank everyone for joining us for this Royal Palm Boulevard and Rock Island Road Broward Safety Action Plan Priority Corridor public meeting. This is the first public meeting we are having for this for these two corridors. Currently, we're in the city of Margate City Hall. This corridor does go through two different cities, the city of Margate as well as the city of Coral Springs. Um, and with that, is there anyone from any of the cities that would like to say anything before we begin? No? All right. And it's very important to note that this project is a partnership in between the Broward MPO as well as Broward County. We do have our Broward County partners here with us in person at City Hall. Does anyone from the county would like to say anything? No? Okay. All right. So our Broward County partners told us to proceed. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to WSP, who is our consultant team, and the project manager, who is Christine Fanchi.
Thank you, Fazil. All right, welcome. Thanks for being here tonight. So the first thing we want to talk about is if you could leave here one night with one message, it's to use the word crash, not accident. And I'll tell you why. When a crane downtown collapsed in Fort Lauderdale last year, we called it a collapse. We didn't call it an accident, right? Because it didn't just fall, right? When a plane falls out of the sky, we call it a plane crash because we expect answers. There's not a reason for that plane to just fall out of the sky, right? It's not an accident. The plane didn't just fall, right? So with vehicles, they don't just, crash into each other without there being a reason. And so our language that we use really helps us to mandate answers. And so I really implore you leaving tonight, if you could just use the word crash, not accident, it really helps shift the dialogue to asking for responsibility, right? Why did that person crash? They crashed because there wasn't enough lighting. Somebody was speeding. Somebody was under the influence. There was a reason for that incident. And so by using the word crash, it helps us get to the bottom line, right? Like what is happening and why is it happening? And this team is really excited about finding answers to those questions. Why is it happening using data? So that's the one. As if we could have you one thing tonight, please take that home. So the good news is we won a grant. Broward MPO partnered with Broward County to win a $5 million Safe Streets and Roads for All grant last year. One of the biggest grants in the whole U.S. right here for Broward County, so that we can create a plan to reduce and eliminate traffic fatalities and serious injuries in Broward County. And so what's happening nationally? We're going to start there. As you can see here, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is tracking fatalities. These are traffic fatalities only. In 1975, we had 44,525 fatalities. In 2022, we had 42,514. So yes, we went down, but we did not go down very much in the 47 years this was tracked. So let's hope that in the next 47 years, we can get to zero is the hope. But we have a lot of work to do. So this is nationally. Our goal is zero, as we mentioned, to prevent traffic fatalities and serious injuries. I'm sure you know these markers on the side of the road show when somebody was fatally killed on our streets. And so we'd like to make sure that no more of these signs go up. So, pop quiz. I know we only have 3 people in the room, but I'll ask you to raise your hand. Is Broward County's fatal crash rate more similar to France or Egypt? I would hope everybody would participate. So raise your hands for France. Okay, I got 1, 2. Raise your hands for Egypt. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So it's not France. So as you can see, Broward County is at 11.8 fatalities per 100,000 population, and France is at 5. So we're more than double of France. And as you can see, the countries listed here are countries that we probably are more in line with resource-wise. So let's flip over. The answer is Egypt. We are at, again, 11.8. Egypt is at 12.8. We are on the list with Bangladesh, Turkey, Mexico, Russia, Philippines, and Romania. So just tells the story that we have a lot of work to do. We need to make sure we up our game. So we're here today to say that we are working hard to do that. So where does Broward stand? We did a crash analysis over the last 5 years of full data. We had 2018 to 2022. So those 5 years. In those 5 years, excluding the interstates, so you can see the little asterisk there, excluding 95, 75, 595, Turnpike, and Sawgrass, we had 250,729 crashes over 5 years. So about 50,000 crashes a year. That's mind-boggling. Out of those, we had 4,832 people fatally killed or seriously injured. And a serious injury crash is a life-altering crash. So, you break your hip and you can't walk again. You lose your leg. You're paralyzed. Something life-altering. So 4,832. Oh my gosh, 1,000 a year about fatally or seriously injured in Broward. Out of that means 4 people are killed and another 18 are seriously injured every week. And there's 137, if I did my math right, it's 137 crashes per day in Broward. So I have 2 new drivers in my house, and I tell them that every time they leave. There's 137 crashes per day in Broward. So the other facts we show here, hopefully they're not cut off too bad, I'll read them. 1,014 loved ones lost their lives out of those 5 in those 5 years. We lost 1,014 people. We had another 4,702 seriously injured. So people. And then that last fact is really interesting. So 77% of these crashes, killed and serious injury, are happening on only 6% of our streets. So out of our whole network, 77% of those type of crashes are happening on only 6% of our streets. So the good news is we can do it. There's a big challenge, but we can do it. So another part of understanding this problem is shown here. So out of total crashes, 2% of them are killed and serious injury crashes. Only 2% of the total crashes, where 76% are fender benders, no injury. Okay. The remainder are possible injury, the difference. But those 2% of serious and killed injury crashes make up 61% of our economic impact these crashes have. So the thought here is if we can eliminate just that 2% of crashes, we'll have 61% more economic money for our cities and our communities to invest in other things that are quality of life and parks and all good things, right? So it takes a lot of resources to attend to all these crashes that are happening. So the approach that we're taking is called the Safe System approach. As I mentioned, this is a federal grant that we were granted this past year, and the federal government has this holistic approach called the Safe System approach. It's got the 5, what we're calling buckets: safe road users, safe vehicles, safe speeds, safe roads, and post-crash care. But I want to highlight this principle. Oh, you can't see it on the principle on the bottom that's cut off. I apologize. Is responsibility is shared. And I think a lot of times when we think about a crash that happens, We think, oh, that person drove badly or whatever. And the responsibility isn't only on the person traveling, but it's also on the person designing the street. It's also on the person maintaining the light that might be out, the roadway light. It's also on the person that's operating the signalization system, the person that's driving the bus. So it's all one big system, and we all need to take responsibility. So me as a pedestrian, I do need to look both ways, but me as a driver, I need to make sure I slow down and I'm aware, right? So holistically, we can get to a safer system. So that's just one I wanted to highlight. So we've been doing a whole process, as I mentioned. We did a big safety analysis to show all the crashes and where they're happening, and that gave us a high injury network. The high injury network was also supplemented by our high risk network. So we identified roads with the high injury network where crashes were happening in those 5 years. The high risk network takes the context and the type of roadways that those crashes are happening on, and then understands which roads are risky because of that data. So it's the high risk network. We also did a full equity analysis for the whole county. There's more information on both of those on the boards in the room. And then that gave us our project prioritization. And then our project prioritization, we did a whole evaluation of the streets, and we came up with our priority corridors. And so tonight we're here to talk about Rock Island and Royal Palm. This is an example of our high injury network map across the county overlaid on our equity map. So you can see the red lines are our high injury corridors. The purple, if you can see them, are high risk corridors. And then the purple background is the equity map. And the deeper the purple, the more equity indicators are there. So you can see where those are happening. So our project's really overlaid looking at opportunities where all three of those overlaid. So our prioritization gave us 11 total corridors. As I mentioned, we have the 2 in Margate that are in the city. Up north in the city of Deerfield, we also have Southwest 10th Street. A little bit south, City Street in Fort Lauderdale, Sistrunk Boulevard, and then Taft Street in Hollywood are the 5 city corridors. We have 3 county corridors, West Broward Boulevard, you can see in green, Northwest 19th Street, and Northwest 31st Avenue. Those are county-owned corridors. And then we have 3 state-owned corridors, US 441, Davie to Sunrise, East Broward Boulevard, east of 95, and then Sterling Road, east of 95. So these are our 11 corridors, and Margate obviously got 2. So here we are. So let's talk about these 2 streets. I'll give you just a high-level safety overview. Royal Palm Boulevard, our limits are Riverside Drive to 441. Over the past 5 years, this is 2019 to 2023 data. We've got about 165 crashes happening every year just in those limits. Over those 5 years, we had 6 fatalities. As you can see on the top there, we've got a pedestrian, a motorcyclist, and 4 vehicles. And then we have an additional 34 serious life-changing injuries. And you can see those predominantly motor vehicle, but we've got some motorcycle, bikes, and a pedestrian there. This road, we did some traffic analysis. You can see on the right, it's posted 40 miles an hour, but our weekday actual speeds are 48 miles an hour, while our weekend actual speeds are also 48 miles an hour. So people are going pretty well above posted. And then on the bottom there, you can see we've got mostly daytime crashes. So interestingly enough, they're happening during the day, 79%. They're mostly happening between intersections. You would think there'd be more conflict at intersections, but this is showing us they're happening between intersections, 60%. Mostly on dry roads, 90%. And then just a minor amount of distracted driving, alcohol, and speeding. So a lot to digest here, but the data is trying to tell us a story of kind of where to focus our efforts. On Rock Island Road, our limits are Southgate Boulevard up to Royal Palm Boulevard. We see about a similar amount of crashes in that corridor, 157 crashes every year, just in those limits. We've had 1 fatality and 32 more seriously injured in the 5 years, 2019 to 2023. And then again, we did this speed study. It's posted 40 miles an hour. The weekday speeds are 44 and the weekend speeds are 46 miles per hour. We're having mostly daytime crashes, mostly between intersections, mostly dry conditions. And then you can see the highest behavioral factor there is distracted driving. So all of this data helps us to kind of understand the story of what's happening on these corridors. So what do we need from you tonight? We need to hear what your safety concerns are using these two corridors. Where specifically. We're going to break out and have table sessions. We have Rock Island Road at the front of the room and then Royal Palm Boulevard at the back of the room. There's 3 ways that you can give us comments. You can give us verbally and we'll take them down. We have lots of markers and sticky notes. We also have comment cards at the table right here before you leave. And then we also have a website. The QR code is here. It's safestreets4broward.org. We would love for you to get on the website. There's a map there where you can go in and you can map things all over the county. It's a countywide map. So if your work is not in Margate, maybe you want to give us a concern that you have maybe close to your work or your children's school. So we're taking comments across the county. So what's next? So tonight we'll take your comments and then the thought is we'll come back with a conceptual design for you early next year. Hope the city will host us in this room, so it'll be easy to find us. And then after we get your final comments, we'll finalize the conceptual design, and then we're working towards a plan adoption next summer. And then how to stay involved. We would love for you to stay involved. And I think we got some emails, so we're going to keep you abreast of what's happening. But there's 3 ways to stay involved. Our website, as I mentioned, we have 3 activities on the website. The safety pledge is there to commit to safer behaviors. The pointed out map I mentioned is countywide where you can point out concerns. And then there's a dedication page for anyone that you know or would like to dedicate this plan to that has lost their life to traffic. So in a traffic crash. So we would love for you to upload a story there. There's 3 ways to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook through Speak Up Broward. We're on LinkedIn through Broward Metropolitan Planning Organization, and then Speak Up Broward on Instagram. So we've got a lot of safety messaging happening there, and we would love for you to share so we can get a broader reach. And then last but not least is our email. If you want to stay in touch, we're ss4a@browardmpo.org. And so with that, we're going to ask you to come up to the roll plots, and we're going to talk about how we can help make Margate and Royal Palm and Rock Island a safer place to travel. So thank you for your attention.
All right, everyone, I am back. So whoever is online, please stay online. So this session online will be interactive. Myself and Christine Fanchi will not be on. However, we do have Lisa Fruget from WSP. She's the design lead for these 2 roadways. And we also have James Cromar, who is the main project manager for the Broward Safety Action Plan. All right. Thank you so much. And we're going to log off here. Let's speak with our hosts online.
James, can you see my screen? Hello, I was wondering if you both can see my screen. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you since we only have 2 online. Jonathan, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, Jonathan. I was actually gonna head over there now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just probably in 5 minutes. But I
Yeah,
did
that's
submit
no
some
problem. You can do
comments.
that.
I did submit.
Jonathan, I think you just cut out. If you want to add it in the Q&A, I can read what you were trying to say, if you can still hear me.
Yeah, I submitted it in a form online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lisa, I had a chance to talk to Jonathan earlier this afternoon, and I want to make sure that you hear his thoughts on, or somebody on the team. He lives near the Royal Palm Boulevard, right behind it, where that bus stop is. That's going to be a bus stop in the future.
Okay.
And he also said he hears a lot of crashes. Go on.
Yeah, yes.
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
And
What you were saying, Jonathan?
I
Yeah.
was saying, it seems the frequency of the accidents seemed to have gone down since the improvement at the intersection of Rock Island Road and Royal Palm Boulevard. It seems to
Okay.
be less often that it occurs. Maybe some statistics back that, and that's just my experience by living there. It seems less frequent now. I mean, actually, like not that often. Like it used to be pretty often, but now it's
Okay.
like infrequent. Yeah,
So you
And
and
feel like the improvements helped then,
I
is what you're
I
saying?
think so. Yeah, I just by noticing what's going on there, and I don't hear the accidents or see it as often as I used to. It used to be really common.
Okay.
I mean, I just knew what the sound was. I'm sorry.
So a couple, don't go yet, Jonathan. So Lisa, maybe we can look at the crash statistics and see if things are happening less often after, in the last few years in that area.
Yeah,
See if
it
that
got
shows up.
completed in 2023. It got finished.
Right. And that's why I'll have to see what's available. You know, what data is available since the end of the construction, or since construction was completed. But we can look into it.
When did the construction occur, Jonathan?
I know it was like wrapping up towards the beginning of January 2023. It looked almost done then.
Okay, because yeah, you'll have to see what data we have, Lisa. I think we have 2020
Right.
data, right?
We can look at 2023. I'll see what we have from 2023, and then we can compare.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
The other thing, Jonathan, were you noticing, do the crashes occur daytime, nighttime? I'm not sure when you're home.
I feel it more at nighttime that was happening there at that area. At the intersection was more at nighttime.
And
I mean,
are you home more in the daytime or nighttime?
I'm home all the time, really. Yeah, because
Okay.
I'm working.
Okay.
I work at home. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I want. That's what I wondered.
yeah, I'm not
Okay.
noticing in the daytime, really. No, I don't. I notice
Okay.
it at nighttime in the evenings around after dinner time. Like,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
And Jonathan, just so you know, 40% of the crashes that result in death and serious injury happen between 6 and 9.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
3 and 9. Sorry.
Oh, 3.5. Okay, so that kind of aligns with.
There's about 19, 18% happen between 6 and 9. So Yeah, just
Yeah.
okay. You're gonna head over to the meeting location.
Yeah,
then,
I'm
or-
actually on Margate Boulevard now. Yeah, probably like less than 5 minutes away.
Okay.
So I'll be
All
there
right.
real soon.
Well,
So
thank
Lisa
you.
and I
for-
are both remote, so you won't see us.
Okay.
but
Yeah,
that's
man.
okay. There are people there that can
I did do
record
2
your comments.
comments. One, I mentioned about a sidewalks being narrow
Okay.
because there's utility poles that are buried like on into the sidewalk, so it cuts down like the width of the sidewalk. So when people
Yeah.
approach each other from both directions, they're having to like take turns to use the sidewalk there. Like if someone's coming, from the west to the east or east to
Is
the
there a
west.
specific block that you're noticing this, or is this
It's
kind of
more
corridor wide?
it's pretty much what starts in Margate at the canal, that canal towards the west there. That's
Right here.
it's towards Riverside, but it's right when you enter City of Margate. It's from
Right.
there to I would say 73rd Ave, Northwest 73rd Ave.
Okay.
And it's because the utility poles are buried into the sidewalk. So, and I just know like for like riding bikes there or just people walking, it cuts down on the width of it. So everyone's have to take, and then it makes the pedestrians go closer to the road too, because that's, and I just think that's kind of a safety concern.
Right.
Because I don't think there's no way for 2 people to get past it there.
Okay. I'm making a
And
note.
yeah, there was, and
Okay.
okay. So I'm gonna head in now. I'm at the city hall. So,
Sure.
Great.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
okay.
Yes.
No
Thank you,
problem.
Jonathan.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
So there's somebody else, Natalia Earl.
Yes.
Is she? I'm not
Um,
sure who that is.
yeah, you can unmute and ask your question or give your comments if you like. If you're speaking, you're still on mute, but you should be able to unmute yourself at this point if you'd like to give us your comments. Otherwise, if you feel more comfortable typing it in the Q&A box, you can do that as well.
Is anything coming in? Oh, I'm in the wrong one. I'm in the wrong chat.
No. Miss Earl, can you hear us? No, I don't see anything coming in right now.
Okay. Should we stick around for a bit though? In case
Yeah.
somebody signs on?
Yep, I'll stay.
Okay, I'm gonna turn off my camera.
Let's see. Okay, no problem.
We'll see if Ms. Earl is able to say something.
Sure.
Lisa?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it.
Oh, she just responded, no questions, just fully observing. You froze on my end, so I am glad to be able to respond now. Hi, Miss Earl, are you there?
Yes. So I just wanted to
there she-
say thank you. Yes. Yeah, I know it was kind of odd because it was right around the ending when all the presentation was done. I was like, what's happening to my computer or my, my phone? So no,
Oh,
this
no
was good.
problem.
Thank you so much for this.
Absolutely. So did you have any comments on the corridor? Any safety concerns that you see, either Rock Island or Royal Palm?
Other than what was brought up, not really. Because I live in Tamarack, and so for me, I tend to drive it at a lot less than I guess the full residents. So I don't have the same experience of that corridor as everyone else.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I appreciate you joining us.
Yes, so I am going to say thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay. You
Take
too.
care. All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, should we call it then?
Okay. Yes, I think so. She spoke up just in time. That was great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because Jonathan's still on the call. He just didn't exit, but I assume he is talking to people in person now.
Yeah,
So,
I would think so.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're good with it,
Yeah.
you can head out. Okay.
All right,
I'll do
appreciate
the
it.
same.
Thanks.
Okay, have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.